Good. I'm TJ.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Here, I'll trade you so you can put this on so we can hear you better.
Got it. And then, ooh, what is?
It's either by a magnet or you can just wear it like a pendant. You could also clip it on too if you want. Aww. So who do we have here?
This is my Hiney girl.
Hi. Hopefully she's not a poo eater. Unfortunately, not everybody picks up around this area. Good girl. Hi. Hello. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's the jumping. There it is. Yeah. So I'll give her back to you.
Thank you.
And we'll see what the leash walking usually looks like. And there's the jumping. Okay.
Yes. Usually I just take her out into my backyard and kind of let her go where she needs.
Okay.
I haven't taken her out in like a more public area, I guess.
Okay.
Gotta go potty?
Do you keep her usually on such a close leash?
Well, in my backyard, I kind of just let her float where she needs to. But when at my dad's house, when I walked her, I usually do have her up here.
Okay. Good girl, good body.
Good girl, baby.
Is her harness as tight as you can get it?
It is. I went to the vet and they tightened it even a little bit more.
Okay. That's probably just something to grow into.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do you usually just have it on the collar anyways, or do you kind of go between the two?
So on her last harness, it fit her a little better, but she chewed it up, like she did to her leash here.
Huh?
And so with other harnesses, I have had her on the harness, but this one's just a little bit too big. I'm afraid to put it on her yet.
And have you guys had pups before?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
I mean, our family dog, we still have him. He's like 11, and we did get him as a puppy, but
It's been a while.
Yeah, I was very young for that, obviously.
Okay. So off the bat, go ahead and just do like a regular walk with me here so I can
Hiney girl.
hopefully show you what I mean in the video. But just pretend like you're going to walk somewhere, and I want to see what your normal interactions are going to be like.
Hiney.
Okay. And that's pretty normal with a pup that pulls when we're trying to get them to not pull. The thing is, especially with a dog that's going to be bigger, we're not always going to have that capability to physically control them.
Yeah.
And so, especially since she's still relatively young, we want to start to kind of set the precedence where she has to actually control herself. And that can be really hard, to do, because then, of course, she'll want to pull and jump on everybody, on people. Yeah. And so what dynamic that we have here is pretty much like you're doing all of the work, and so she doesn't have to really do anything except for what she wants to try to do, and everything. So there's really no like impulse control development. There's no like obedience development, anything like that. So another test that we can do here is go ahead and let her walk around on the leash for a little bit. And smell things.
You're not gonna get in those bushes.
Right, and then go ahead and call her name once to see what she does.
Hiney. Hiney.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. If we can't get her attention, then it's really hard to give her a command. And she's just more so interested in the ground than anything else right now. And what we'll do to kind of get her a little bit more easily walkable is to get her to actually, and teach you too, it seems, how to walk her on a looser leash. Because it's good to want to have control of her the whole time, but what ends up happening when the leash is always tight like that is that it makes it really, really hard to communicate with and actually use as a tool. You're pretty much just using it as something to hang on to at this point.
Yeah.
Here, so I'll run a couple tests here with you to see how she goes. All right. So she's pulling. I'm just looking to see what she's interested in. Right, just trying to follow the ground and everything else. Good girl. Hi. Yes. Okay. Yes, this way. Come on. All right, so she's really interested that way. Yes. Yes, good girl. Hey, this way. Yes, good girl. Right, so instead of just tight leash the whole time, it's just tight when she hits the boundary because she's trying to go that way and I'm going this way. And then I'm just using more like pulses to try to get her attention, to guide her, because she's too used to already the leash pressure, right? So if I just pull the other way, it's just going to be like pressure in and pressure out. Good girl. But now when she does follow me and starts going the right way, I'll give her a little bit of that praise and the leash stays nice and loose, right? And the reason why we want the leash nice and loose is so that way when I do change direction, right? Good girl, yes. It gets tight for a second, or if she starts going too far away from me, then it gets tight, and then we want her to know to look back to us. Good girl. Yeah, you kind of see when she feels the leash pressure, she just kind of ends up ignoring it and pushing through it to get to whatever she wants. Eventually, we want to teach her to get to whatever she wants. She needs to pay attention to us first, and then she gets rewarded by us leading her there or giving her permission to go there. Good girl. So I would take it she's probably a flight risk since she doesn't seem to listen to her name and recall.
Yeah, when she was younger, she could run around the backyard however she wanted, but just getting older, she started running to the front yard, and then I was like, I'm gonna have to leash you. And there's been times she's tried to go out the front door. That's only happened once or twice.
Okay.
But I was able to like stomp on the leash really quickly, and she couldn't go very far.
Okay. Let's see, she's just interested over there. And what's her name again?
Hiney.
Hiney.
She has pulled on me before, and I have dropped the leash, but then she doesn't really go too far after that. She like turns around and comes back.
Okay.
But yeah, the jumping, you can see I have like scars up my arms from where she gets me sometimes.
Yeah, and like I said, especially because she's going to be so big, we really need to develop her impulse control and her patience. Like here, she wants something and she's just jumping up for it, right? Whereas if we get her to sit, wait, and then so instead of forcing her back down, making her go back down on her own, right? And then sit, and then making her wait for a bit. Good girl, good down. Yes, sit. I know. Yes. Oh. Nope. Good sit. There you go. That's a big piece too. Oh my goodness. What do you think? Right, so you see in like no part of that I try to physically kind of force her down or correct her, and that's something that you can do as well later on. But what we need her to do first is to actually understand what to do in a situation. So when she sees somebody and she's excited, we need her to know that to meet that person, she needs to sit or stay on all fours. Once she actually gets that part, and then she is either too excited or doesn't do the right thing, then we can kind of help force her down, right? Because if we start by forcing her to do something, she didn't have to do anything herself the entire time. So, you need to work on both the positive end of the training and getting her to understand and be disciplined and be patient and focus on you for a reward. And then after that, also you can work on the negative side of the training, right? Because if you only do the negative side, she doesn't develop as much. She's still working on it. What do you think, huh? Is that a big piece? I think she likes it.
Yeah, she does this with her food. She does. The only thing she hasn't done this with, I feel, is like cheese.
That's fine. Good girl.
What are you? Ew.
It's just freeze-dried salmon. Good girl.
Yeah, and she does love just being outside and like laying out here.
It's understandable. So a lot of the work will be on her side to kind of teach her to do things, and then some of the work is going to be with you to teach you not to just make her do everything, right? So the more, especially when it comes to walking behaviors, because like I said, you're having troubles now. When she gets bigger and what you've had to rely on is just physically controlling her, that's almost going to be out the door.
Yeah,
right?
So I took her on about like a half-mile walk. I want to say it was last week when we were at my dad's, and I remember feeling like I did an arm workout, like with this arm just trying to hold her back and saying heel.
Right. And so you see with me and her, it'll be mostly her doing all the work. You'll still have to kind of use the leash sometimes physically as a boundary or as a signal mark, but you don't want to use it as, guiding her the entire time with it. Good girl. Come. Good. Good girl. Right. Down.
She's reacting a lot better around these cars than I thought she would.
Well, it'll definitely get her a lot more practice in public too. That usually helps with skittish pups, is just getting them used to new areas and new sounds. And just trying to do it so it's not overwhelming. Because like if we were right next to the road, or if there were like cars honking and things like that, it might be harder, right? So here's another instance. Instead of pulling her back and keeping it tight the whole time, I'm just gonna step forward because she's just here smelling it, right? So there's no point in having any tension there. So part of it is just like kind of being aware of the fact that you're using what is supposed to be a tool. A lot of times we end up going on autopilot, they end up going on autopilot, and now like she's just pulling to get to what she wants, and you're just pulling her to get what you want. It's a lot harder, right? Because it's like just tension the entire time. But now, if it's loose and then I start go, good girl, and then it's loose again, right? So I let her smell, right? And this will also try to teach her, especially when it comes to loose leash walking, like so long as the leash is loose, she can hang out, she can smell whatever she wants. If it's tight and she can't get to it, she needs to refocus back onto us, so we can either, show her which way we're actually going, or we can, release her to go and smell it, right? Now that she's kind of in between things, I'm going to start walking this way, and that's going to build the tension again, and then as soon as she starts going in the right direction, I'll release. Good girl. Right? So all of her nose and smells is that way. I'm going to go this way. Good girl. Right? Now she's interested in the little kid over there, and she wants to play. Right? Good girl. Yes. Come here. Hiney. Sit. Sit. Good sit. Wait. Good job. Right? So I'm trying to just signal her. I'm just trying to guide her into what she should be doing, especially when it comes to the jumping behavior, as opposed to just physically making her stay down or away or off from people. Because once again, the more work that she has to do, the more she's going to develop. The more work that we have to do, the more
it
work
takes
that
away from her.
Yeah, because then you'll always have to do that work. Good job. Right? And so a big part of it is when she is excited and coming to me is being kind of preemptive. Because a lot of times we work on down when they're already up. We need to give her something to do as she's approaching, because she's got all that excitement and she's just thinking about how to release it, right? Sit. Good girl. Good sit. Sit. Good girl. Right? So I'm letting her fail, right? If she gets up, she's not going to get the treat. She gets down, good girl, stay. Sit. Good. All 4 paws are on the ground. There you go, good girl, right? And it can be difficult because she might have to fail over and over again because she's too excited to pay attention, right? And if she's too excited to pay attention, sit. Sit. Good girl. Good job. Right? Then she's not going to be able to absorb the lesson. So a big part of it is making sure that we're not trying to force her to do things when she's too excited anyways. Right? You can either, like I said, do it with corrections and tell her no and everything repeatedly as well. You can also do it through patience too. Okay? Letting her kind of give up on her own and realize that she's not going to be able to do that, or every time she tries to do that, she's not going to get the right response from us.
Yeah. And then, what was it? For when she does
Good girl.
eventually move back to like wearing it on the harness, will it still feel the same, I guess, for her, like the tugs and everything like that?
Just depends. She's probably more used to pulling on her throat now than anything else. So it just depends if she's conditioned herself to pull on the harness as well. Nope.
Yeah, I think I've been using the collar since maybe the beginning of December. That's around the time she chewed up her pink one. So that, I mean, even the collar is fairly new compared to everything else.
Because eventually we want to get her to the point where, of course, you don't need any of those things at all. It could be on the leash, it could be on the collar, it could be anywhere, but the main thing is she just recognizes a little bit of pressure. Good girl, right? And she knows what to do, right? So if I start going this way, hey, yes, this way. Good girl, right? That's why you'll see a lot of trainers do like the U-turns a lot. Good girl, this way, right? To kind of help with teaching her that that's a boundary and that she can't continue going that way. Good girl. And then when she's going the same way with me or in the same area as I am, then she gets praise and treats. Good girl. There you go. Good girl. Right? The leash is nice and loose. The leash is tight. This way. Yes. Good. Okay. It's going to be important because eventually when you are working on things like recall, you're not going to always have the really long leash. So you want her to be able to recognize her name, understand and know the command, have enough practice in, have enough discipline in to ignore all the smells and stuff and come back to us, because she's going to feel either rewarded or punished, usually a combination of the two, right? Without any leash pressure too.
So when she's doing this, like you had it loose and is this like more of like that she wants control?
No, she just wants to play with it.
Okay, that's what,
No. Usually for like any kind of dominant or control behaviors, it'll be when you're trying to get it back and they get aggressive at you, right? No, she's just, she's definitely she's just playing with it. And so what I would do with puppies, right, is usually have another toy or some treats or something on me, and instead of trying to force her to stop, good girl, good drop, right? We give her a reason to drop it. Because if I start pulling on it, she's going to start to think it's more of a game of tug and start pulling harder. Same with like having things that she shouldn't have in her mouth. It's very natural, for us to reach in and try to pull it out or take it away. But what's also natural, good job, is when we start pulling something away, she'll want to bite down harder to keep it, right? So here, kind of cut out that possibility of playing that game by giving her something else that she'd like, teaching her to sit and or drop it or release whatever she already has, and then she gets her reward. So you kind of see how I didn't almost didn't even care that she had it in her mouth and chewing on it. You know, we don't want her to destroy it again or anything else. You know, we're gonna have to get you another leash anyways, but that's how you would teach her, right, to let go of things, is you would present a treat or a toy or something, have her drop whatever it is that she has, and then reward her by giving her something else appropriate to play with or a treat. But yeah, it looks like she's just very typical puppy behavior. So I think, he said, half of it is going to definitely be working with her, and then the other half, good girl, is going to be working with you. Will you be around during the training?
Yeah. So I'm just outside of Harrisonburg, which it's maybe like 2 hours away. So that's not a bad drive, and especially like, you know, I'll go anywhere.
Okay. And we can always try to meet halfway too if there's a park or something. And that'll kind of give you a break from the trip.
Yeah, my family's more around like Front Royal, Culpeper, and Warrenton, those areas. I'm the odd one out.
Gotcha.
So I come back home a lot.
Oh. Right. So in this case, we probably definitely want to give her any of her toys, right? So that way she has something to occupy herself, because she's just bored.
Yeah.
There you go.
Here's her bag of toys and like just personal things.
Okay.
She loves this a lot. And then her tugboat.
Sit. Sit. Good. Sit. There you go. There you go. Good job. So another thing too is a lot of times we accidentally drive them up by having our hands and everything up higher, right? And that's another reason why I put the toy down closer to her. Good girl. And distracted by her nose.
And it was only recently I realized she was trying to play tug instead of fetch with so many of her toys.
Yeah, some games come more naturally to certain pups than others. You know, some dogs really like to play fetch. Some dogs really like to play tug.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense with her leash, and you know, just obviously.
Yeah. So you'll get to learn more about her too as I learn more about her, right? So instead of just constantly trying to force her to do things, see what she's really good at doing, right? And what's easy for her and what's hard for her, and then trying to help her get better at those things, or trying to avoid that way of doing something, you know, instead of going against the wind, you know, opening up the sails, figure out which way the wind is blowing, and then go with the wind. Some pups I've trained with are
What is that?
So go ahead and ask her. So go ahead and ask her to drop it for you.
Drop.
For something.
You're chewing.
For something. There you go. Good. So you can kind of see there, right? Having treats or toys or something of high value, so that way you're not caught without anything to trade, because then your first instinct is to go and reach out, right, and pull it from her mouth, and then she's going to try to eat it faster or get it down or hold onto her teeth more, right? Again, so teaching her to drop things as opposed to actually. Yeah, and that's, like I said, it's understandable for most parents. We don't want them to chew things and get an upset stomach or destroy things. But eventually there's going to be that time, especially as they get bigger, it can be very dangerous to be trying to pull things out of their mouth, right?
This was her favorite toy. And you can see what happened to it, obviously. Opened up all the stuffings everywhere, so it's like that's something I'm always like, what's in your mouth, and it's usually stuffing.
So go ahead and we'll use this as an example now, because we don't want her to have it, right? So we're going to lay it out. Okay. And I'm going to teach you how to use the leash as both a boundary and a signal in this lesson here, all right? And a lot of this is just going to be situational awareness too, while you're out walking with her, making sure that you're paying attention to what's on the ground around her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like at my dad's, there's like a lot of like acorns and nuts and stuff that fall off the tree, and she loves to go after those.
Uh-huh. Hey. Look. So now she's too focused on the leash, so we'll just practice with that. Drop. Good drop. Perfect. So as soon as I say a command, she does something, I give her a treat, because the sooner that things happen in succession, the more chances are that she'll make a connection. So if like I asked her to drop and she did, and then I ask her to sit, then she gets the
Yeah.
treat. She might understand that she might think that she's getting the treat for sitting instead of dropping.
Yeah.
Right? And to eventually wean her off of the treats, which is pretend like we have one this time. Hiney, drop. Good girl. Wait. Right? And then give her a treat. Right? Good girl. There you go. Down. Sit. Good girl. Good. Good sit. There you go. Good. So I'm slowly building her patience at a time by making it so she has to sit for longer before she gets the reward. Okay? And an easy way also to fix her constantly trying to chew her leash is just using a metal one, because this is the same material as toys that she plays with, and it's softer, right? It'll be good to kind of give her the practice of drop it, but if we're trying to work on walking behaviors, for example, you don't want to have to stop to concentrate on this too. You know, so you kind of pick and choose your lessons from time to time, and I'll show you how to do that in the videos as well. Right, so go ahead and grab another toy. We'll see if we can get her occupied with that. Good girl. And she's just distracted with other things too. And the reason why she's not as distracted with her nose is because we're on the ground now too. So if we put her back in the grass, there's a lot more sense and stuff caught there. Sit. Yes, good girl, good sit. There you go. So she wants something, she can't get it, she listens to me, she does what I ask, and she gets it.
And that used to be a squeaker toy too. I saw it on the ground, and I just picked it up and threw it away so she didn't choke on it. So
good girl.
It's more of a tug toy now.
I know. We're gonna have lots of toys for you to chew on. That's the thing too, especially during their teething process and when they're younger, they just like we're human babies, they just want to put everything in their mouth. So it's going to be more about controlling her environment, making it so she only has access to things that she should be chewing, or supervising her. So when she does get to something that she shouldn't be chewing, you can be there to say, no, chew on this instead, right? That's pretty normal too. So movement.
Yeah, she loves the cat's toys. They'll bring out their springs or their little roller ball thing, and she hears it rattling, and she's like, well, that's mine now.
Gets very distracted by everything. Hiney. Good. So even though she's jumping, which is, something we'll need to work on too in anyways, it's because she's excited, but I can get her to follow me without pulling her on the leash, because I have something that she wants and she's focusing on me. Come here, this way. Drop it. Yes, good, drop it. Good, sit. Good girl. Good job. Hey, we're going this way. Good, listen, right? So getting her to follow you as opposed to making her follow you by pulling her everywhere. And it's just going to make things a lot easier for you. Hiney. Yes, good girl. Oh my gosh. All right. Is there anything else behavior-wise that you wanted to go over with me during her evaluation here?
No, I think I included just a lot of, it's very just, basic obedience, I think that she needs for right now.
Yeah, pretty normal puppy stuff,
Yeah.
but very important, because if you build on all these, like, the basics, it can really go a long ways.
Yeah, and I was afraid if I just keep waiting, like she's gonna get far too big, and then if she does something aggressive just playing, like, we had my family had a Great Dane Mastiff,
Good
my
girl.
aunt, and I mean he had been around kids a lot and stuff, but this kid was just, she was misbehaving a lot with him, and he ended up like nipping her, but it was on the face, and it wasn't bad, but he did like break a little bit of skin on her cheek, and they had to go put him down.
And that's
So I just don't want.
right. And in that instance too, it's, partially the pup's fault for not being able to tolerate or move away from a bad situation, or
Yeah.
it could have been the parents' fault for not supervising their children and
That-
making it so
that's
that,
what it was.
they're constantly agitating them to the point that they have to snap at them or something to get them to stop, right? So there's always, is it two sides of every, two or three sides to every story, but we want to do our best to kind of get her, like Fiona, for example, she grew up with small dogs, and so she's naturally understanding of how to be gentle given her size, and that just comes with good socializing too, because you'll get smaller dogs that will want to play with her, and she might just be too rough naturally because she's much bigger and stronger, and that's where you have to give the small dog a chance to snap at them and correct them, so that way they listen to each other and she respects it. But you still have to be there, because if she doesn't listen to the small dog, then she has to listen to you, and you protect the small dog.
Yeah.
So she either way, she has to learn that self-control. But I always prefer that they kind of learn naturally among their peers, because they need to develop those social skills anyways. And just like with everything else, if we're constantly stepping in and micromanaging all those situations, she never has to like develop anything.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it was with the cats, especially when she was smaller. I was like, I just want the cats to like just bat at her or hiss so she knows to back off. And one of them, she'll still sometimes go after her a little bit, but that cat will not let her in her space.
Right.
And the other day they got into like a hissing and barking match, because that was the first time she was like, she did have to control herself. But with my other cat, he rarely hisses, rarely like does skippity paps or anything, and she just goes after him so much, and he's waiting for me to intervene, and I'm like, no. Like, I don't know why my other cat does that.
Well, they're all going to be different personalities and different dynamics too because of that.
Yeah, I was hoping he would learn from his sister that all you got to do is like hiss at her, and she kind of backs off a little bit more, but
yeah, some
not
pups,
happen.
yeah, some animals are more passive aggressive, some are more passive, some are more aggressive. Down. Yes, good. You kind of see there, because she was constantly trying to jump for the toy. As soon as I saw that she was jumping, I asked her to down, and then she actually stopped herself halfway, which is really good. And a lot of it, a lot of the sessions are just gonna look like play, because with her, we want her to be amped up and still be able to listen, and so the easiest way to do that is to play with her.
Yeah.
Good girl. You just have to make it so you're playing the game that you want to play with her, right? As opposed to playing the game that she wants to play, like tug or something like that you don't want to play with her. She's going to do great. I'll just continue spending the rest of the day probably just evaluating her behavior, letting her get settled in with everybody, letting her get some extra energy out and have some fun. And then tonight and tomorrow's weather is going to be pretty bad, so I'm going to try to at least get in one recording of a session tonight. It's going to probably just be the leash work or the name recognition. Start on those first and see how she goes from there. Okay. Do you have anything else for me or anything to note before I let you say goodbye to her?
I don't think so. I have all of her stuff over there just to go through a little bit of it, but...
Yeah, we'll go together. And what we'll do is I'll leave her with you to say goodbye while I take her stuff in, and then I'll come
Okay.
back out for her.
Okay. Like I said, these are like personal things. Like, I don't even know if you want to take those. But here's her food. This is the cup that I was referring to when I say she gets like 2 cups or 1.5 cups. And then in here is her slow feeder bowl. I think she just knows. I usually put it in the crate with her because I want her to associate her crate with like a safe place.
Yeah, that's fine.
She has treats all kind of through here. It's just this front bag. This is the one that has, it has some of her grooming things, which has been hard to do, like cutting her nails. So like her nail clippers are in there. I put a toothbrush in there, and then it has her medicine for her. You can see her dandruff and stuff.
Okay.
For her itchy skin.
Okay.
And this is what I usually, I just put it all in here so it was all together and easier. But I usually will keep a toy in here and then wear this going on walks. And then in here is her puppy treats.
Okay. And for the medication, you might want to make sure that you text me the instructions, because sometimes they should always be the same as what's on the bottle, but sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
And then also, just so that way I'll have a reference to, like, during the feeding times and what days and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'll be able to add it to my calendar for those things.
Yeah, and then when my dad actually picked her up, I forgot to give. This is a recent development,
Okay.
but I forgot to give him this, so she hasn't had it in a couple days.
Okay.
So I did just want to say that, but kind of everything is in here, and then to like restock any of the puppy treats, those are in here, and then her microchip and her rabies. I couldn't get it on her collar, so I just put it there.
That's fine.
Since this is her walking bag.
Okay. And is her medication something that she needs like once a day or once every 4 hours or something like that?
Twice a day, every 12 hours.
Okay, yeah.
So
So,
I
definitely
usually-
text me stuff like that too,
Yeah.
so that way I'll
Okay.
have it as a reference. All right. And since most of these, let's see what else is in her bag.
Yeah,
So her jacket she'll definitely need. And if it's just little toys like this that are gonna probably get destroyed anyways, we might as well bring it too, because I'm gonna get more toys to go through. So
have
that should be fine.
I keep some toys in the back seat when I drive with her too. So this was she just got this and she has done this already, so
It's pretty understandable.
it squeaks, and she likes to play tug with this too.
Okay.
And then this is her deer amp. I mean, it's a real one, so I don't know if...
Go ahead and keep that one back at home.
Okay.
It's a little bit more high priority and don't want any conflicts going over it. Because there's only, one of those, and there's many more of all the other toys.
Yeah, and I've already gotten her a new one of these that has stuffing in it, so
Okay.
most of these I don't really care. I got almost all of these when she was a puppy, and she's kind of like outgrowing them almost a little bit, so.
That's understandable. Okay. A lot of times they're meant to kind of get destroyed and then thrown away too, so.
Yeah. And then do you want, like, this is just dumb. I have a seatbelt for her that I hook on her harness in a car ride. Do you need that, or?
No, I've got one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You ready to take her back and hang out with her for a minute and say goodbye?
Yep.
It'll give you an opportunity to practice drop it too.
Drop.
Yeah,
Hiney.
yeah. Yeah, give her a reason to drop it. There you go.
Fine. Good girl.
There you go. So part of it too is going to just teach you to help make some more routines, right, that you naturally will do to kind of help things, and then also get you prepared for a puppy, right? Because
Did you want me to take this, or?
either way,
Whoop.
we'll take it away.
I can just get stuff in there. Sit, baby.
Good.
Good girl.
Good job. Hold on, let's go first. There you go. Oh, good girl. I know. You're so intense, Bolt. Okay, hold on. Okay, go ahead. All right. Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh my God, how you guys doing?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm all right. There you go.
There.
Oh,
Somebody.
I might have to let her go. There you go. Good girl.
What's up? They both just laugh.
No, she's a Great Dane Mastiff mix. Yeah, she's only 5 months.
Oh,
And then,
he's in.
yeah,
Jeez.
and he's a 4-year-old lab. Yeah.
He's going to be big, huh?
Uh-oh.
All right. I think Zoe, like you said, man, I think she'll put on some more weight, but shit.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's gotten bigger since the last time I saw her.
Everyone thought she was going to be massive, man. I'm glad, you know.
It's a good size.
Yeah.
It's a good medium, I think.
Well, so now, because I want another one, right? So now I'm like, if I get a medium, is it going to be smaller than her? Or, you know?
They all vary a little bit. Just depends on their parents, too. Hi. Oh, I like your grooming. Look at you. Look at you, Miss Groom. So pretty. Oh, good job. Good girl. What do you think, huh? That's another puppy, too. How old is she again?
8 going on 9, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 months going on 9.
There you go.
Yeah. She'll be a year. March or April. I can't remember.
Aw.
I actually do need to know her birthday. Wouldn't that be something, right?
Well, you know, a lot of times with the rescues and stuff I work with, we have no idea. But as long as you celebrate one day a year.
You know, I mean, celebrate one day in April.
Just make it something easy to remember, like April 1st or something
exactly.
like that.
April Fool's Day or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be funny. All right, we gotta let her go. She probably gotta take a walk.
Man, she's been inside all day because they've been doing drywall stuff.
Yeah, I saw your guys. Are they almost done at least?
They're getting there. They're getting there.
Oh, hey, big guy. You want to join this party? Look at him. No, you cannot play with that one. That one's way too small for you. Yeah. Like, he's pretty good, but he can be intense when he
I
plays.
seen him from the window. I was like, what's going on? At first I thought they were fighting. I was like, no, he's definitely just intense.
No. Look at that. Oh, look at that. She's trying to get her to play. What do you think? Oh, here you go. Oh, goodness. Oh, Zoe's so sweet.
Man, that's all she wants to do, bro.
There you go. It's okay. She just wants to play. Oh, there you go. And now we got some missing Zoe over here.
Good, mama. Everybody's good.
Hi.
Good, mama.
Hi. Oh. There you go. It's okay. Hopefully we can hang out again sometime soon.
Yeah. When how long is she here for?
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. I think she's gonna be a really good partner for Zoe. She's a little more like gentle.
I mean, shit, I'm not
Oh, look at these two.
I'm doing nothing this weekend, man. Just let me know.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, good girl.
Maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll let you guys get going.
Oh, we gotta go.
Do I need to let go of something?
Who's what?
Careful. There you go. I might have to untangle, might have to
Oh, there she goes.
Hiney over here. There we go. All right.
Alright,
All right. No, please don't. No. Don't. Have a good one. No, don't take her for a walk. Thank you. I know. There goes your friend. All right. So now we're out on a turn with Lilo. And Lilo usually likes her own personal space and doesn't play very often. Every now and then she'll play with Fiona. But this will give her somebody that will be good at correcting her. She's being too much. And also a lot calmer. Might actually be able to do a little bit of a walk now. Yeah. Lilo is very much her own dog. She likes her personal space. She likes to hoard toys. Every now and then she'll play, but she's very independent. Good girl. Now she's interested in playing. Fine. Where'd she go? There she goes. Good girl. I have her hooked up to the harness just to see how she reacts on it. It's pretty much the same, except because the harness is so loose on her, it's definitely more of a flight risk on it. So I'll check to see if I have anything closer to her size that fits. I looked at this one and it looks like it's almost about as tight as it can get. There's like maybe an inch in the front there, but it's still going to be too loose. She can easily back out of it if she gets scared. This is something that we'll want to keep in mind during her social sessions. Come on, Lilo. Lilo is eating grass. Okay. Okay. Come on, let's go. All right. Good girl. Good pee-pee. Good girl. Oh, she's doing good. Definitely a lot more calm with an older, calmer pup too. She also might be getting tired. She's not as oh, there's a little bit. She's not as excited and running around and pulling. There's a little bit. And then last up, we'll see how she is with Miss Lila, not Miss Lila, with Miss Fiona. She is very excited to play with Fiona. What do you think, Fiona? Yeah, that was you one day. No? What do you think? Alright, come on. Good girl. Okay. Gotta make you pretty for the camera. Hold on. There you go. Now you're perfect again. There you go. Okay. You gonna play with the baby? What do you think? Is she too much? There you go, you tell. Fiona will also be pretty good about correcting if necessary. But she's more inclined to actually play with the puppies too than Lilo is. Good girls, come on. Hiney. Good girl, come. So did a little bit of leash pressure there, right, to get her off of her nose, as well as some directional leash pressure because we were walking, and then tried to also prompt her with her name. Probably to be doing some name work today with some leash pressure training later this evening. The camera is about to die, so it depends on if I'll be able to transfer the files and charge it up again before it gets dark. It's almost 2 or 3 now. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's already 3. So unfortunately it gets dark around 4:30. But if not, we'll do a fresh recording tomorrow and get some practice in tonight with her. Give her, like I said, give her a chance to get settled in. At least she looks like she's making friends. Sometimes in tighter spaces, you know, it could be scarier for pups without the freedom of moving around. And she definitely seemed overwhelmed at first. It also might have been just because she was meeting all 3 of them roughly at the same time. Whereas now, on these more one-on-one situations, she's a lot more comfortable and also has a lot more room outside and other distractions. Good girl, Fiona. That was you. Years ago. She's a good size already, though. For 5 months. Good girl. Yeah, she's definitely going to be ready for a nap soon, too. So we'll probably take that into consideration. Puppies are usually a burst of energy followed by necessary rest and downtime. It's good to take note of that because we don't want to overwork them either, just because they have a lot of energy and excitement. Oh, pause this. So to also make her harness more secure, I clipped it to her collar as well. Good girl. Come here. Alright. Good girl. Hi. Well, she seems to be doing pretty good around kids. Fiona has social anxieties. That's part of the reason why I kind of helped to foster her in the first place. She was doing pretty good until a little girl, or no, a little boy came running up and then around her. Good girl. It's okay. Hey. Shh. Wait. Good girl. No. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Good paw. Thank you. Give other paw. Thank you. Good kiss. Oh, thank you. Okay. But no. She seems to be doing okay, Miss Hiney. Just interested, maybe a little overwhelmed. But that'll be another good reason to kind of get her out and about during all the training processes, to get her socialized a little bit more so she's not so unsure or anxious in those kind of situations. Alright, she did really good meeting everybody. I think after a little downtime here of her getting settled in, she'll be playing with the other pups in no time.